We interrupt your normally scheduled program, which was supposed to be a video on UTEP football today, to share breaking news when it comes to the UFL. Now, there is a lot of conflicting information out there right now, but I wanted to put together this video to share what is going on, why it might be going on, and my thoughts on the whole situation. According to James Larsen from PFN, the UFL is planning to relocate Memphis, Houston, Birmingham, and Michigan to the new cities for next year? What the f? But before we get into this, if you enjoy college football content like this and alternate league football content like this, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, let me know where you want to see a UFL team end up in the comment section below, because they are supposedly announcing expansion in the next few weeks as well. So heading into this offseason, it almost seemed inevitable that both Memphis and Houston would be relocated due to their attendance issues over the past 2 years. There was also rumors that Birmingham may be relocating to New Jersey, but those rumors would later be squashed. With the success the Birmingham Stallions have had in the 4 years of spring football, winning 2 USFL championships and the inaugural UFL title, it seemed unfathomable that they would move and change the team. I mean, that's the team you can market for greatness and that the casual fan can get to learn about because of how good they have been. That's not to say there weren't problems. Even though they went on to win the UFL championship in 2024, the Stallions only finished 4th best in attendance in the league when it comes to average attendance, bringing in 10,260 fans in 2024. This year, that would drop 11% as they only averaged 9,149 fans a game, which was 3rd worst in the league, ahead of Houston and Memphis. Their low point would come in Week 7 when they only brought in 4,744 fans. Weather crushed the Stallions this year as well, but their other 5 home games would all have more than 9,000 fans in attendance. If you take out their Week 7 attendance, their average jumps up to 10,030 fans, and their highest attended game came when they hosted Michigan in the USFL title game, when they brought in 10,928 fans. That still has them finishing with the 4th worst attendance in the league, only jumping Arlington, even though they have been the most successful team in the spring leagues the past 4 years. I wonder if there was fear on whether if Birmingham ended up really struggling, which you can't predict, would the fans stop showing up altogether? Would it turn into the same type of embarrassment Memphis and Houston have become, which averaged 3,992 and 5,712 fans respectively this season? If you're running this league, that's not the mindset you should have. Birmingham had some of the most passionate fans in the league, but Protective Stadium became more difficult to work with, and things weren't profitable going back to 2022. When they were profitable in 2022, profits went directly to BJCC. That thought process also does not match up with the decision to move Michigan then. Michigan saw a major jump in average attendance from 2024 to 2025. They saw their attendance rise from 8,134 fans in 2024, which was 3rd worst in the league ahead of Memphis and Houston, to 11,681 fans in 2025, which is a 43.61% increase and was the 3rd best number in the league. They were also the team with the 2nd highest attended single game in the league, with their Week 10 game bringing in 16,014 fans, though St. Louis out-attended them for all their games. You could also say it's been a steady increase going back to 2023. There's no factual evidence because the USFL did not release attendance numbers. It seemed like the city of Detroit and the state of Michigan were finally buying into the idea of supporting their UFL team. What is the message being sent to fans by moving the Panthers? It basically says, hey, you could show up, but it just doesn't matter at the end of the day, because we just don't care. According to James Larsen, they are moving because Ford Field has been a difficult venue to work with, and with the UFL's issues on their end, the rough waters weren't smoothing out anytime soon. Ford Field cost the league a whopping $500,000 just to open the doors for game day, a $2.5 million investment per season. The league considered Eastern Michigan as another option, but due to their great turf, the league would decide to go against it, which is really ironic with what I'm going to talk about later in this video. It just makes absolutely no sense unless this is a sort of hostile takeover by Redbird Capital and the camps of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Danny Garcia. Or Fox could be stepping back from helping run the league, not seeing a feasibility in it building up. Since the merger, there's always been conflicting ways of thinking between the former XFL camp and the USFL camp. The XFL marketed their league way better in 2023 than the USFL did in 2022 and 2023. They had a documentary series running on ESPN+, did more with their YouTube channel, and just went all in on marketing the league. The USFL, on the other hand, would do the bare bones of marketing. They followed more so the mindset that football markets itself and fans will show up no matter what. I've always been more bought into the XFL when compared to the USFL personally. Now there are some factors that go into that. One, I started this YouTube channel covering the XFL in 2020. Second, I lived in the DC area when the Defenders returned in 2023. And thirdly, the XFL videos always seemingly did better than the USFL videos when they were separate on this channel. So I always focused on the league more because that's what y'all showed you wanted. That third point goes into the marketing standpoint I mentioned earlier, with the main difference between the two previous leagues. The third option is the XFL side could be saying, let us market the league and show this thing can work. But if that were the story, I don't think you'd be relocating the 4 USFL teams. You would probably just be relocating 2 of the teams. With the firing the league did this past month, if this relocation news turns out to be true, it starts to make sense as major figures within some of the organizations were let go. I wonder if there's going to be a major change with the coaching staff as well with this move. Will Skip Holtz stay with the league now with the team no longer in Birmingham? Does Mike Nolan stay with the relocated Panthers team? Those are 2 premier coaches in the league that you would hate to see go, especially after the departures of DC Defenders head coach Reggie Barlow, 2025 UFL Coach of the Year Shannon Harris. Editor's note, turns out Harris will be doing double duties, which was announced while I was recording this video, and was just announced as DC's head coach and will be Tennessee State's offensive coordinator, and Greg Williams all to Tennessee State throughout the season and off-season. Then you add in the fact that Ken Wisenhunt had been in and out for Memphis this season with ongoing family stuff, and if you replace Jim Turner, who was the interim head coach, that's already 4 new head coaches you will be replacing this offseason. They may also clear house in Houston, meaning you have up to 5 possible coaching jobs open in an 8-team league. Make that 4 possible head coaching jobs with the DC Defenders naming Shannon Harris head coach. That's not a good look for sustainability and from a marketing aspect. This is just a puzzling move overall and adds in so many logistical problems the league didn't need to deal with, especially if they decide to expand to Seattle and another city like they have been talking about all season long. When asked about whether they were relocating teams, the UFL issued a statement via Mike Mitchell saying, the league office is in the planning stages for next season and beyond. At this point, we have nothing to report on any unauthorized speculation. Mitchell tweeted earlier today, for what it's worth, had 2 league sources up the ladder at Fox and Redbird inform me that nothing has been finalized for the 2026 season. The whole situation has been described to me as fluid. The initial plan was to add 2 new UFL teams for the 2026 season, but the continued struggles of existing teams, markets, and the league's souring relationships with their venue partners has had them shift focus to exploring relocation options. So let's talk about the new cities that the league is looking into move to. A few months ago, I talked about Louisville, Columbus, and Orlando. Louisville, Kentucky has been a city that has been heavily discussed as a possible relocation place from Memphis or a possible expansion city for the UFL. The city does not have a professional football team but is the home of the Louisville Cardinals, who play in the ACC. Although they do not have a current team in the UFL, Louisville ranked 14th last year in the television market for the league. That means the city is already invested in the league, is more likely to show up for home games, even with the lackluster marketing team the UFL has. The issue that arises for a team in Louisville is their home stadium. There are 2 obvious choices, but both have major downsides on either end of the spectrum. Play at L&N Federal Credit Union Stadium, which holds a capacity of 60,000 fans. The issue is, I don't know if you could bring in 60,000 fans at first, and that could look bad on television. The other option is Lynn Family Stadium, where the MLS team plays, which sounds great except for one facet. The stadium only holds 11,700 fans. While that means you could expect a sellout crowd every week, it does not provide you much growth opportunity and really restricts how much money the team can make. If I were the one making the marketing decisions, I would probably choose a smaller venue, at least for the first season, and making it a premium event ticket. If tickets are harder to get, it raises the profile of the league. If you decide to do a game at L&N, you may be able to get a much larger fan base as a special event, a la how the NHL has the Stadium Series. That's just a theory for a way to have the best of both worlds, though. Columbus, Ohio could be a golden opportunity for the UFL, with their lack of a professional football team and the passionate fan base when it comes to the Ohio State University, which is one of the largest fan bases in the nation, is coming off a national title. USFL found success in Canton, but Columbus seems to be the choice due to it being a bigger market that could turn into a goldmine for the league. There are multiple stadium locations you could look into if you are the UFL, with the historic Cruz Stadium being the first one that comes to mind. It holds 20,000 people and is currently vacant, so you would basically have free reign of it if you are the UFL. There's also Lower.com Field, which the Crew moved to in 2021 and seats 20,371 people, which is similar to Audi Field where the DC Defenders play. The city has a population of 913,175 people and could be a perfect location for multiple rivalries for the league. The biggest rivalry game would have been a rivalry that could have been created between the Michigan Panthers and a team from Columbus. The Detroit area and the Columbus area have a pure disdain for each other, as shown through the Michigan-Ohio State rivalry. The state of Ohio and Michigan also have had a pretty funny history of multiple crazy things happening between the states, even including a war between the two. The issue is, the league is tearing that away from us by moving the Panthers in the rumored reports. I cannot imagine the outcry and absolute hatred the league would get from the state of Michigan if the Panthers end up being the team relocated to Columbus. The irony would be hilarious from a story standpoint, but it would be a very bad look for a league that's already being viewed down upon. The Orlando Apollos averaged 19,648 fans per game during the 2019 AAF season, which was the second most across the league, while the Orlando Guardians only averaged 8,931 fans per game in 2023's XFL season, though they had over 12,000 fans in their first home game and 10,000 fans at their second home game. Were going on to finish the year 1-9. It was just hard to watch for most of the year. Orlando is a golden opportunity as there is no professional football team in the city. As of the time of recording, they do not have an MLB team, though the Rays are rumored to be considering a move to the city, and they don't even have an NHL team. The only professional sports team the city has are the Orlando Magic of the NBA and the Orlando City SC of the MLS. There are also multiple possible stadium locations. You could play at Inter & Co. Stadium, where the Orlando City SC plays and has a capacity of 25,500 seats, or you could look at the Bounce House, aka FPC Mortgage Stadium, where the UCF football team plays, which has a capacity of 45,301 people. And then there's also Camping World Stadium. The city that feels so out of left field in this move is Boise, Idaho. Don't get me wrong, I like Boise, and when I was there, I thought it was a beautiful city. That being said, it feels kind of random. There were no rumors about Boise being a possible UFL city that I saw, and it's why I find it hard to believe this story might be true. Though the UFL did have a mass exodus of layoffs last week, with the majority of those releases being from front office members in the four markets being canned. Houston and Birmingham are completely barren, while Memphis and Michigan are down to one member apiece as of Monday morning. It could be a strategic leak by the league to gauge fan reaction on how people would feel if these four teams were to relocate. According to BJ Rain, it appears unlikely for Boise to be the relocation city in 2026. But if Boise is truly a legit relocation city, here's why it might work. Boise does not have an NFL, NBA, or MLB team near it, or anywhere near it, and the city has supported Boise State football and has turned them into one of the powerhouses at the Group of Six level, even making it to the college football playoffs this year behind running back Ashton Genty. While they will have a new soccer stadium this spring, it will only hold about 6,225 fans. Instead, a Boise team will most likely end up playing at Albertson Stadium. Hey, remember when I mentioned the detail about EMU and the league not liking gray turf? Well, they contradict themselves by having a Boise team play on blue turf. Which is beautiful in person, don't get me wrong, I've seen it. And been there. But just ironic that they would rather play on blue turf over gray turf in a city they saw their attendance almost double from year to year when almost everyone else saw a decrease in attendance. I'm just saying, it's weird. Boise is the 98th largest television market in the US and has seen a major population growth. When I was in Boise Airport, I believe they were also doing major expansion to the airport due to the city growth. Albertson Stadium and Boise State University are just down the street from downtown, and it's an extremely walkable city. The issue is, according to Rain, Boise would be more likely in 2027 instead of 2026. The league is viewing Tulsa or Oklahoma City as a backup plan if they can't make Boise a reality. This news is all just so weird and shocking to me, at least when it comes to Michigan and Birmingham. The league is expecting to announce their expansion cities in the next couple of weeks as well, and 2026 is viewed as a make or break year for the league. As of now, there is no full clarity on which UFL teams will end up in each city. The Showboats have been rumored to end up in Boise, with the Roughnecks landing in Columbus, but those assignments are subject to change. It will be an interesting next few months for the league, and I hope their bet pays off, because they just lost a chunk of their fan base and content creators from the reaction I have seen on X. What do you think? Will this bet pay off for the UFL? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out one of my other videos YouTube thinks you will love right here. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.